Thank you very much for staying with us, and we do thank Dupe for that special report on the forthcoming Ondo governorship elections. Well, we are back to the studio to talk about that particular situation. Now, you know, we do have quite a number of actors on this. We have INEC, we have the people, we have the political parties, the actors there. Those are the candidates in the political parties, and we have so much going on in Ondo State. Some people have actually gone so far as to say this will be a template on which 2019 may be, we may be viewing 2019 elections. Well, we'll be discussing that in detail today on the show, and we have our first, we have two guests in the house who will be talking to us about that. First of all, I have Dr. Kola Balogun, who is a political scientist. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And also we have a public affairs analyst, Mr. Jared Ajayi. Thank you so much for being here also.
It's my pleasure being here. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Jerry. Nice to have you gentlemen here. Let's kick off with you, Mr. Ajayi. Now, the last line of the report we just heard was a level playing ground for the incoming Ondo Giba elections. Would you say the elections we're expecting will be based on a level playing ground? Let's start from there.
Yeah, going by what is on ground now, I want to think so. After the last count, there are 28 political parties participating, going by INEC record. And virtually all the 28 political parties have candidates. There seems to be a little problem within two major parties, that is the APC, All Progressives Congress, and the People's Democratic Party. Both are internal problems, but then they have candidates that are officially on INEC register. Akeredolu, Barrister Rotimi Akeredolu for APC, and Barrister Jimo Ibrahim. Interestingly, the two of them are lawyers. Jimo Ibrahim for PDP. So the problem in the PDP is that some powers there want somebody else. So considering that the fact that all the political parties there have their candidates, and INEC says from the report we've just listened to, it is ready. The security agencies represented by the police officer who spoke said that they are ready also, and they are preparing for eventuality. I want to think that other things being equal, I think the level playing ground is there, giving excuse for some little human errors.
Dr. Balogun, do you share his sentiments, considering the kind of drama coming out of Ondo State now, pre-election?
I like for us to keep hope alive, whether it's in Ondo State or any part of the country, and especially given the fact that we have no other country. So all hands must be on deck. All stakeholders must be ready, must be encouraged, must be willing to do the needful to ensure that we have a free and fair election. So far, so good. We learned that there is a good security arrangement in the state preparatory to this election. Even the media has a role to play. The media professionals have serious role to play. We need to enlighten the people. Okay. We need to discourage the people. Unit of every society is the family. Families also have a role to play. Tell your wards, tell your kids not to allow anybody to use them as political thugs. Security operatives must also be encouraged. They must also do the needful to ensure that we have a level playing field, free and fair election. INEC must play its role, and that's very important. And all other agencies, National Orientation Agency, the SSS, everybody.
Okay.
Everybody has a role to play.
That's what you
Even
want.
you have a role to play.
Yes, that's what you want.
Then that's what I hope we are going to get.
Yes, that's what you hope you are going to get. But now let's look at the situation in Ondo State. Let's start off with the emergence of these candidates. Yes, we have 28 political parties in this, but we have three main parties, three main contenders now. We have the APC, the PDP, and the AD. The emergence of the candidates for those parties now. Let's start off with that. What do you think?
Well, let us look at PDP for instance. PDP's journey to political extinction started 10 years ago. PDP ruled the country for 16 years. I think the first 6 years when you had the Nigerian first 11 politicians, I'm talking about people like late Chief Solomon La,
Okay.
Dr. Alex Ekwemi, and a few other first elected, because they started this political party, and a solid foundation was laid. But as soon as they left the stage and a new crop of leaders took over the party, they came in with a reign of impunity. And that is when you began to have internal contradiction in political parties, in PDP. So far, they've gotten to a point of no return, as far as I can see, because for as long as the party machinery is not completely overhauled, as long as you still have the likes of David Mark, the Sabentus, the Secondus, at a point when you had this same political party allowing about 6 sitting governors of its party to leave the party, and you don't think anything was wrong with that system. You had a lot of senators or members of the House of Rep leaving for one reason or the other, and you thought that was nothing was wrong with the party. When you have a sitting councillor, a local government chairman leaving your political parties en masse, they should be worried. So the journey to extinction of PDP started about 10 years ago by my own observation.
But they're still in
Okay.
play.
They are still in play, and that is why you are having this crisis. There is so much internal contradiction because it is PDP against PDP, McCarthy, Ali Modu Sharif, and so they have weakened the base from national to local level. That's why they're having this crisis. But we will not wait for them. The world must move on. Nigeria must move on, and so those other political parties that are ready for the election should just go ahead. And if the faction is allowed to participate, that is okay. And if they decide to continue to be in court while the election is going on, that is okay. That's why we have choices. That's why you have about 26 or 28 political parties in Oyo State. So as far as I can see, the process that throws up candidates, in most cases, even in advanced democracy, usually not perfect. And as such, look at what happened in America. In the Democratic platform, you have Bernie Sanders, who had some issues with the party leadership. I recall there were some complaints about Sanders, about some information being passed to Hillary Clinton campaign office that will put her at an advantage over Bernie Sanders. So every electoral process, whether it's internal party process, does have this kind of problem.
Okay.
The ability of the leadership of the party to resolve such problem quickly and move on is all that matters. In this case, APC may also have its own problem, but at least I think they have been able to reconcile the aggrieved, the aggrieved individuals and the aggrieved.
We haven't heard your take on the final content, or rather the third most prominent, which we also hear about, which is the AD.
Yes.
What would you say about the emergence of the candidates, Olushola?
Don't forget that Olushola also was not, did not come from AD to AD. He came from PDP to APC and from APC to AD because he was looking for a platform to contest, which is his right. He's entitled to do so. And so once the AD has given him the platform to contest on their platform, and he has accepted it, so we have to see wait and see. Although he also has some problem at a point, I think. I think they have resolved it.
Yeah,
so if a party leadership succeeds in resolving its internal contradiction as a result of the primary electoral process, so let them move on and participate in the election. But any party that is unable to do that, we'll say good luck to them.
Now, Mr. Ajayi, if we were to look at the build-up to the emergence of all the candidates of these three parties we've spoken about, you find out that one way or the other there has been some raucous that led to the eventuality we now see. Let me pose this question to you. Of all of them, from your own perspective, who would you say stands a higher chance?
Well, just as the situation in America has indicated, election like a football game is sometimes a little difficult to predict. Incidentally, towards the build-up of I will answer your question directly, but let me just bring this because it's opposite. There's a particular school, they call it Yorkshire Heights in New York. since 1968. It's a primary, an equivalent of our own primary school here. Whenever an election is coming, the students there, young children, always cast the vote, a kind of mock election. And they have never got it wrong. So the Wednesday preceding the week on which election held in America, the election held on a Tuesday. The Wednesday before, they cast the vote. And Hillary Clinton got 277 votes. Donald got 243, which means Hillary Clinton won the election. But yet, and this is a school that has never gotten it wrong from the record. And you can remember also that virtually all the media and other commentators predicted Hillary. Of course, we have small cases. For the first time in my, since I've been studying the situations across the world, an outgoing president meeting another president was talking in a manner that is not so complimentary about his successor. In this case, I'm talking about Obama when he met with the German chancellor. Yes, okay. Was expressing fear about what Donald Trump may do when he comes. It's usually not the case. You always talk something positive about your colleague. Why did I go into all that? Is that it shows how much it's difficult for us human beings sometimes to really make a total prediction. But now, going by what is on ground in Oyo State, remember just yesterday it was very much an air that the AD, anyway, apart from the court ruling, the AD candidate, that's Barrister Olushola was arrested. It was in the media that he was arrested because ammunitions were found in one of the cars following him and things like that. Of course, it has been denied. Yes. There was also the rumor that Lagos State governor, through the Oyo State governor, provided 10 billion naira towards that election. What came to my mind immediately was that if Lagos State could provide so much money along with Osun, why should that government not help sister states of APC, particularly Osun and maybe Oyo, to be able to, in paying salaries and things like that? In other words, it sounds so outlandish. So now it does look like, just as the supporters of were saying, that all those things are coming up because they realize that the other candidates and the opposition felt that is likely to win the election. So in other words, I think, of course, as you have narrowed it down, that the contest is going to be between the three, PDP, APC, and AD. I think that, given the fact that Jimoh Ibrahim is not so much, it's not like, it doesn't look to be very much on ground in terms of structure. And the platform which he is supposed to use, which is PDP, is not, it's very dicey. So I think there is going to be a fight between AD and APC. With the scale appearing to be a little bit more on the side of Olushola.
Okay, so that's where you.
Well,
given
the
analysis I've just made,
yes,
that's the way I look at it.
We totally understand.
So, Dr. Balogun.
Yes.
Let's get your own analysis. Also, do keep in mind, yes, you have talked about the fact that we have this internal wrangling in the PDP. The issue is still in court. We await the Supreme Court's decision on the matter. That still remains to be seen. We see what happened in the APC. It seems that Akeredolu right now, of course, he's the candidate for the APC. But don't also forget that there were these issues with the leadership of the party and about his emergence also.
Right.
That still remains. And then the speculation that the leadership of the APC may be in cahoots with the AD candidate, that speculation also does remain. In your own analysis, where do you pitch your tent?
First and foremost, I like to congratulate the Ondo people because they are very lucky people to have this area of highly qualified candidates on all these party platforms. Olushola is highly qualified. Candidates of PDP are also qualified. Chief Rotimi Akeredolu is also very qualified. So really, it doesn't matter who eventually emerges, Ondo people will be a better place for it. Rotimi Akeredolu, as you know, has been a commissioner for justice in Ondo State.
Yes.
He's been the president of the NBA. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria. He's done very well in his chosen career. And so far, he has also made himself available to grassroots politicking. PDP, given the level of crisis that the party has been overwhelmed by, will not suspect would be able to do much as far as this election is concerned, unless they can put their house in order before the election. And even then, time is not on their side.
But their chances will be stronger with who?
No.
Jegede or Ibrahim?
Or Ibrahim.
Yeah, whoever. See, for you to win this kind of election, some things must be in place. You need to have a solid financial base.
Wow.
You need to have strong party platform. In other words, you need to have committed party membership.
Okay.
Party members that will go house to house, that will knock on the doors, that will canvass for votes, that will do all the needful for you to win that election. And you also need to be sure that security arrangements on the part of the government is also in place. As far as the APC, as far as I can see with the APC.
No, before you haven't finished off with the PDP.
Yes.
In the sense that from what you have just analyzed now, are you in essence
I
talking
just said,
about
I said that the
Jegede?
time is no longer on their side.
Yeah, but it's still in the court.
It's in the court, and they're still fighting. Now, the members are also being disenchanted and discouraged. You discover that a lot of PDP members may not even come out to vote because they are already...
The
So
party
you're saying
structure favors Ibrahim Jegede because he went through the primaries and emerged.
Yeah,
In Ondo State anyway.
but the court has not said that. The case is still in court.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So